There have been many bad situations that the U.S., Charles, has decided we had to act, whether this is one of them. To Juan's point, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs writes in a letter to Congressman Eliot Engel, quote, "Syria today is not about choosing between two sides, but rather about choosing among many sides. It's my belief that the side we choose must be ready to promote their interests and ours when the balance shifts in their favor. Today they are not." But Congressman Engel, a Democrat, responded, quote, "I reject the notion that our involvement in Syria would simply constitute choosing sides between one armed group and another. Rather, our involvement represents a choice between hastening the end of the Assad regime or continuing to allow the cycle of violence, displacement, and terror to continue unabated."
Well, the irony is they're both right. Engel is right that particularly had we early in the Civil War put our efforts on behalf of the rebels before the jihadists flooded in from Iraq and from Afghanistan and elsewhere, and when the bulk of the rebellion was spontaneous, secular, national, is from every segment population, we would have had a decisive influence and Assad would be gone. Right now we're in a situation where the jihadists are in, where there are more than two sides, and any aid would be problematic. I think Dempsey is right. The irony is, second irony, that in Egypt, where there are only two sides, there's only the Brotherhood and there's only the military with wide popular support, we're not choosing either. And I think, in fact, the administration's incoherence on policy is astounding. The tape you showed of Obama speaking about the intervention in Libya and using a humanitarian explanation and justification shows how completely incoherent the policy is. The only constant in all of this is Obama, as a candidate, as a senator, decided we should be out of these wars, we should be out of the Middle East. The tide of war is receding. He repeats it over and over again and pretends it's true. And that is the constant. We're not in Iraq, we're not in Syria, we're not in Libya, we're getting killed in Libya as we did. We're not in Egypt, we are doing nothing. All the other actors are in play, the jihadists, the Russians, the Iranians, Hezbollah, but not the United States. We are irrelevant.
You know, when you were gone Monday, Juan sat in that seat, and he said support the military in Egypt.
Absolutely.
Well, he